Good morning, today 2:04. 2:04. Today's tasks, pretty much the same as yesterday. Hopefully the plaster man's going to be here today, so he's going to be getting stuff on the walls. We need to arrange to get the insulation, so we get the insulation into the wall so we can do both sides. Because at the moment, obviously, most of the walls have got one side up and the other side can't be done yet. We've got to get the slopes on the bifolds. We've got to get that bit there. It's done on all four. We've also got to do the white mortar return on here. They need to be done today as well. Thursday, hopefully they'll start going in. Hopefully they'll be straightforward. Bear in mind they're quite as square as possible now, so that should be quite easy. We also need to get the door track today, get it into here and actually get it tested so it actually fits. Obviously we need to get the guys to actually get some waterproof concrete in here to make sure we get everything smoothed, so that any water that does go in does end up being waterproof. And then we also need to actually get the track itself that comes off up and to get the height right. So it's going to be around about 2 inches too low. So then we're going to have to try and think about what solution we've got to build some form of boxing that comes down from this white mortar that we've paid to have done. Another pain we're going to go through. So obviously if we bring the actual 2x6 down here by an extra 2 inches, the door will fix into the bottom of the 2x6. And then we'll have to have some form of 2x2 boxing on here, made all the way through, and we'll probably have to white mortar again, unless we can come up with some form of paint that probably blends in and saves us a bit of money and time. So we're going to have to do that all the way along here today. We're going to do 5. We're going to have to do one in this corner, one central, one at the far end, and then one in the middle of both. We need to get those done at the right height. Thanks, Anthony. We need to get that done at the right height so that we can actually then start getting the doors ready to go in and to be fixed. That's something that's definitely got to be done today. And obviously they need to finish off this today, so I need to go and get some OSFO. We've actually got that scraped out, so we need to get that cleaned out. We need to get a wire brush on there. We need to get the brush treatment on there. And then we also need to get those backfilled with waterproof concrete. But we also need to do these ones over here, which I've forgotten about. There's one here. I'm pretty sure I saw another. One there. There might be one in there. Oh, yeah, there is. There's one there. Looks like I've forgotten that one and that one. So we need to get those chased out. We want to get right round those. And then any form of bubble, any bubble you can see like this, that obviously has not been, the vibration didn't to work well. We need to get that completely smooth like here. So once that's done, we've got to get that done. So that needs to be done. That's probably one of the most urgent things we've got to do, because we now need to start working on making sure that the door track fits. Fingers crossed. The actual, obviously what's happened is they used a bit of wood, which makes sense, but obviously wood expands and attracts with moisture and heat. So this would have been 7 1/4 that went in there, so hopefully it stayed 7 1/4, because that's the width of the door track. So fingers crossed it stayed straight, and also it didn't expand or retract. I mean, expand's not too bad, but if it shrank, then we've got a bit of a problem to deal with. So we'll find out today when we get the door track out to see if it fits in. And then once we've done that, we can obviously put the upright in, and we can actually draw the line and make sure we get the right line either end, and we can laser across, and then we know exactly how big to make these up here. So that's something we need to get stuck into today. What else? The electricians and the plumbers, they've obviously got to do their electrics. I think today they're going to be running cabling through. They're going to go and get some Cat 5, because they're going to start doing obviously the cameras and the wireless at the same time as pulling the actual cabling through as well. Once that's actually done, the extractor's got to be done over here as well, so it's got to be centralised. I think it's going to end up being a roundabout here somewhere. So we've got to again channel that out and 45 degree through. I think the other thing we discussed as well on this wall over here, we need to move this light socket. We decided on this light socket to get that light socket actually embedded into the wall rather than having it 2 inches proud. And then we'll board all of these here. So get this actually chased into the wall, which is a shame because we've already finished this, but we get that taken in, so it's about 1 inch. Then we'll be able to literally utilise the boarding method there rather than having to put 2x2 battens on there, etc. So we can actually board all of this, all up that column inside, all along here. It's just a dot and dab type scenario. So yeah, and then also we've got to get the concrete board into the bathrooms. We need to obviously, it's focused on getting here done first, but we can't do this until the plumber finishes off the elbow on here and the connection to come out of the wall here. Once that's done, that can go on, but this wall here can be boarded, so can this part here. So we've got to do 4 foot here, this piece here, and obviously 4 foot eventually here once this is finished. Got to do that in both of the actual shower. But I suppose one of the biggest things we've got to do today is we've got to get the damp proof into the actual troughs for the footings. That's one thing we're still waiting on at the moment for deliveries, which is a pain in the ass. So we need to get the DPM in, and we need to get the blinding done in the footing so we can actually start now boxing up and getting ready to pour. So that's a bit of a nightmare. We're also getting excavation delivered to site, excavator and driver. And we're also looking for a bobcat, because again we've got to now start the laborious task of digging up all of the pipes that we talked about. We discussed to actually get that one there, so from this manhole here over to that manhole, and from this manhole to this manhole, get that taken up, get the pipe taken out, and get a higher gauge pipe put in there and concrete the living hell out of it after we've stoned the base. So I need to also order some stone and some sand today, because we're running low on both. Other than that, pretty much the same as always. Fighting against the current, trying not to go too many steps backwards, and trying to keep everybody motivated to work. That's the main aim for today. Okay, 4:45, big gap in between reporting today because I've been busy. As I'm just looking around, as everyone's pouring down the rain, extension lead left outside, plugged in. Just sums up my life at the moment. Anyway, when I say you have to keep an eye on everything, you really do. Ooh, that ain't good. Leakage coming through the ceiling. Not good at all. So anyway, what we've done today, the main things we've been up to today. Electricians have been starting to pull cable through. As you can see, Cat5 cabling, outside cameras, inside electrical. They've been busy doing that today. The slopes on the double doors have all been finished off, so they're now drying. Hopefully the rain can stay off. Tested out some insulation today. Unfortunately, we only had 23 inch on the island, or 15. 15's too thin, so we bought the 23. And unfortunately, that does mean we have to cut it twice. But that's going up quite nicely in here. So tomorrow we've just had all of the rest of it delivered, so we can crack on with getting all of that done tomorrow. That's one thing we can get done. The electricians have been spending quite a bit of time inside their electrical comms room. So this is where their electrics and their cabling is all now starting to come through. Cat5 all coming through from all the camera systems. So they're making leeway on that. And the team have been spending quite a bit of time out of here. So we've blinded pretty much the footing area all the way around. The next stage will be obviously putting in the beams, the engineered beams that we've actually had done. And before we do that, we need to make sure that we actually get the pipes going through. Otherwise, the pipes are not going to land up reaching where they need to go. So pipes first, blocking second, rebar third, and then the pouring of concrete fourth. Now, one problem we do have at the moment, we're running quite low on sand, and unfortunately the pit's still not open until Monday. So as a result of that, anyone that's got any form of sand in their stock is massively taking the piss. So stone and sand, stoned normally around about 1250 for 12 cubic meters. Sand normally about 1500. Sand today got quoted 1950, but most people are wanting 23 to 24. So the pit's open on Monday. We can't survive until Monday, so we do need to make a decision on what we're going to do. So we need to obviously try and reach out to a few people we've got to know over the time and see if there's anything we can do on the price, because that's just ludicrous, and we're not doing it, obviously. So that's one thing we're definitely going to have to do. Other than that, it literally is tomorrow going to be the white mortaring the door frames over here getting ready for Thursday. So that will be done first thing. Starting to put up the actual framework on the wall here. That's one thing we're going to do early in the morning. And then I'm just going to get a team of guys working on getting as much insulation up as possible. Other than that, that's pretty much it. But it's raining for once in Barbados, so, and you caught it on camera. So, yeah, other than that, day is over.